Good job as always. And for the second time this week, this is the after party. So, welcome. I will be taking care of you guys the rest of the night. That was a good show once again. I was at dinner, so I missed a little bit of it. But, so we did one Wednesday, and now we got tonight. And it was a good show, as always. So, all right. I'm going to send a link to everyone so they know where to go for the ones who haven't not showed up yet. All right. Let's see. Nate is in the house. How are you, Nate? All right. And LaFleur wants one, so I will do one. What's up? What's up? Not going to be as good, but what's up? What's up, everybody? All right. So that was your Jake. Just got done. That means I'm just about to get this party started. I will have to bring my stuff in soon, so I will have to, but that won't take that long. But then we're going to really get started after that. Yeah. Not going to lie, I could not wait. So I had a fun time at dinner and everything. I could not wait to get out of the car at the end, though, because, of course, they're the opposite of us when it comes to what we were talking about tonight. So, yeah, could not wait to get the hell out of there and not have to listen to how it's all real. So, yeah, but I know. I just nodded and went along with it. And then I told Rose and Dave and Shady Davy about it. Alrighty. Let's see what we're gonna do next. Once I get in the house, I'm gonna really do a lot of things. So I will have to do that for a couple minutes. RY's in the house. Hi RY, how are you doing? Jake made your thing a members only video, by the way, the impression that you requested. So, just in case you did not see that. Okay, okay. Before I take everything in, and I'm going to show you a clip from Jake while I do that. But before I do that, and I wanted to thank RY real quick for the comment here. Thank you very much. But I do have to take my stuff in, so there will be a few minutes break. I'll show something from Jake. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about this beaches guy that came in the chat tonight. This guy kept making excuses for Eric Dubé over and over and over again. I told him that Eric Dubé told people to print a picture of the moon, cut it, and tape it to the ceiling. And that, do you see the moon, like a flat piece of paper? No, you do not. And he said that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove he's a shill. He's innocent. And finally, I told him, "Are you this stupid to believe this?" And he said, "There's nothing wrong with that." And that's when I timed him out. Goodbye. So I gave him multiple chances, and he just nope. He definitely was on Dubé's side, no doubt about it. Yeah, they were just driving around the area. Yeah. Mike, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, okay. I did want to address that too. I had to get on someone, and good thing someone got timed out for that. It's like, dude, or her. I think it was a dude that said it. The whole point of Jake is so that people can make comedy requests. So if you don't like it, that's part of the show. If you don't like it, leave. Okay? Yes, I know Jake had a show to do. But part of it is so that people can donate to him and make requests and we all have fun. So for those dumb people that don't realize, yeah, that's part of the show. People can donate, people can make requests. There's nothing wrong with it. RY, there's nothing wrong with you. And I actually snapped at someone tonight for saying that you needed to stop sending super chats. I thought it was disturbing. You have every right to send as many super chats as you want, RY. I think you're an awesome dude. Keep up the good work. Don't listen to those people. Yeah, no. And those people, a couple of them I've never seen in my life. And one of them I timed out, or someone timed them out, but I was going to if they didn't. So, yeah, no, LaFleur would never. No, LaFleur, it was someone who was not a mod, was threatening him. Of course, hey, and I like you too, RY. Because I know the difference between someone who's causing problems like that Beaches guy. That Beaches guy was causing problems. I even tried to give him a chance, and he didn't do it. But you're fine. You're totally innocent. You did nothing wrong, and keep it up, buddy. Yes, of course. And I'll be on with LaFleur tomorrow. I will be on with LaFleur tomorrow after his layer of LaFleur. So his layer of LaFleur's tomorrow. Please go check him out over at the LaFleur Network. By the way, he got 8 out of 10 points in his bowling again. So I wanted to give him a shout out. I'm going to show the link real quick for those who don't know where it is. At LaFleur Network. So youtube.com/at LaFleur Networks. For those who don't know about him, he did a good job in his bowling the other day. Of course, Banner, I think, is still out. It's Zane still, but Banner's the main. He's the main player. Yep, and now it's a members only video. And you did a good job with that one. You did a good job with that request. I think most of yours, if not all your super chats, are good, buddy. Yeah, LaFleur has a channel. Yes, he does. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, RY. I think it's awesome that you do that. As a matter of fact, and I'll put it in the chat too. Bring All right, let's see. All right, so I got to bring my stuff in real quick. So while I'm bringing my stuff in, I'm going to show the third game. I'm going to show like toward the end of the third game. So that you guys can have a chance to watch a little bit of what LaFleur did the other night. So when we come back, I will, of course, do my stuff. I got to bring my stuff in, though. So, although I would like to get this working first. There's one more way I can do it. All right. Sometimes I got to do the not ad version.
Teams for tonight. Kingpin.
There's your buddy. There's our buddy LaFleur. All right.
All right. Both of these competitors got 2 last shots here in the 6th. It's like Tom's going to take his right now. 2 left to get on the far right side. It's going to fade off. Might get 1. He does get the 10 pin.
That's 10 pin.
Close. Keep it clean, Kev. And he does so. Picks him up. Gets the spare. Clean game going. At least you're getting a spare. And that leaves 3 for Rick on the Big John McCarthy to start the top of the 7th in this last game here this evening. A lot of head pin. Leaves 3. Ooh, gotta hold on here, boys. It's a close one. It's a close one. We're getting about to run out of time. Gotta keep this together. Looks like he's gonna pick that up, and he will get that spare.
God dang it.
How long was it out for? All right. Yeah, that was the quickest I think I ever got. So that was good. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, only for a minute. Okay. It sounds like it only happened for a minute. And so good news. That was probably the quickest I ever got my stuff done. So that's good. Oh, I thought for some reason Mike was LA County. Okay, Orange. Yeah. I mean, it is the same area. Oh god. Hey, RY. Okay, I do have to ask RY something. RY, are you still there? Yeah, I do. All right. Okay, RY, I have a question for you. So down there in San Diego, I want to find the name of the company real quick because I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, RY. I've heard it from the. Okay, who is that guy? Because I have heard of him. Someone from Starbucks that believes the stuff that I do said she watches or listens to him, but I don't know anything about him. So if you know something, Nate, I would love to hear it. Oh God. Oh no. Not that Ocean Street one. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Ocean Street. McDonald's. No, I think Nate's Virginia. Nate's Virginia. Yeah, no, it would be a long drive. I will. I will. I did want to ask RY a question first. Have you ever heard of the real estate company named Millennial Realty Group? Okay. I ask because my cousin works there and he is horrible. He's a horrible, horrible man. And so, and he's ripped so many people off. So, and he has ripped a lot of people off down there. So, I didn't know maybe if you knew anything about it. I mean, a newspaper, as fake as the newspapers are, and as fake and phony and full of baloney as they are, when it came to him and they talked bad about him. They were right about that. I agree, JP. It would be nice to have that. It would be nice for you to come down here. And RY, so you wouldn't have to go to Southern California. RY would hopefully, and Mike would hopefully come up here so that you don't have as far to go. All right. Yep. All righty. Okay, I'm gonna do what Mike told me to do just now. Yes, I will show the pictures of that McDonald's again. Mike wants it, so I will do it. Mike, this is just for you. You requested it. Let me put the chat where he requested it. Yeah, there's his request. So I will do it. You said it, so I will do it. As horrible as the place is, just for you. Specialty just for you. Let me make sure this is the same one. Yep, this is Ocean Street. Okay, this is something Mike wanted. Ooh, no wonder why it feels awful in here. That's my bad. I forgot to turn the AC on in my bedroom. No wonder why I don't feel good in here. Oh, that's better. Okay. That's going to be better for me. So the McDonald's I was talking about. So this is apparently the coffee. This is apparently the cappuccino at the Ocean Street McDonald's that they made this person. Here's the garbage. By the way, it used to be much, much, much worse than this. This is nothing compared to what it used to be. So this is probably one of the cleanest garbage cans there's been in a while. And that's bad for this location. And then I'll get to the thing I had planned for tonight. Because I actually did have something planned tonight to show you and debunk. So, yeah. This is Ocean Street McDonald's. Let's read the comments. would be awesome news. No, I feel bad, Cactus. I feel bad. I'm only doing it because Mike requested it. I love Ocean Street. I can smell it from here. Oh my God. It sounds like he's really looking forward to this place. Why would you want to buy shares in this location? I mean, oh my God. I think anyone who bought shares would go broke. It does look like diarrhea in a cup. You're not wrong. And that's the cleanest the garbage has been. That's nothing compared to what it used to be. You thought that was bad. I knew I forgot something. Hold on. I'm just going to grab my phone and my charger so I can have my phone and it on the charger. Oh, yeah. Okay. I already turned that off. Good. There we go. Got what I needed. Getting back into my bed and continuing to talk to you, the viewers. Okay. Ooh. I'm back. What makes you think it's the best in the world? No, it's not. I hate that McDonald's. Don't eat that poison is right from the flare. Hey, RY. Because I don't want to expose or talk too much on here about some stuff, I am going to put my email on here so that you can email me, because I do want to ask you more about stuff that's going on in San Diego. But I don't want to say too much more here. So, but I'll fully go over it in detail with you on email if you're okay with that, RY. I mean, yeah, that's my email. Okay, yeah, I'm going to ask you a couple more detailed questions about, that real estate group and all that, because yeah. And if you never heard of them, I'll tell you about them in detail on email so that you know to never go to that group ever, because they're not good people. So Mike, if you want that, email me here. So Mike, you can email me here. And I'm only going to do this I'm not going to do this for everyone. This is just for mods, the ones with the shield or the wrench. So you can email me and I will give you, so like Mike, I will give you that information because I trust you. You're a mod. Same thing with RY. If he wants it, I would give it to him. So this is, yeah, my phone number is not for everybody. That's just for people I trust. But yeah, Mike, you can have it. If JP wanted it, if Cactus Jack wanted it, because you're all mods, so I'm okay with it. Same thing with Nate. If he ever wanted it, I would give it to him because he's a mod. I trust him. Speaking of gas prices, JP, I was talking to my Starbucks friend who kind of listens to some of the similar stuff that we do. And I was asking her, hey, are you having to gas your car up more often? And she said yes. And then I told her about what Jake talked to us about and what I think, how they're putting more ethanol into the gas. They're watering it down, diluting it so it will burn faster. I really do think they're doing something to the gas. Yeah. I guess not. I mean, I wouldn't do it here, but you can email it to me. I mean, I have my email over up there. You can email it to me, and I would talk to you if you wanted. Absolutely. And again, my phone is only for mods. I'm not gonna just randomly give that. That's why you got to email me, and then I'll see that you're one of my mods, and then I'll give it to you. Or if you're one of Jake's mods, then that works too. Would hope for that too, but like Jake said, Trump doesn't control the prices. The people that are in charge of Trump, the people who handpicked him, they're in charge of the gas prices. And I don't see that coming down anytime soon. Yeah, it says up to 10%, but Nate may be right. They may change it to 15. Oh, okay, it's official. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't know if that's the case either. It's just the people who are in control, the Illuminati and the government that we don't get to see. Some of them may be that, but I think there's a lot of others that are not that on it. But who knows? But right now, I'm going to say I think there's a mixture of all just horrible government bureaucrats doing it. Yeah, but all war is fake. I do get it. I mean, if the war was real, I would absolutely agree with you, but all war is fake. And I will say this. If you wanted to go down that theory that the war is real, there are a lot of those type of people who don't like this war, that believe in it. and all that. So but I do get what you're thinking, but not necessarily. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Absolutely. JP is onto it. And I'm about to get to something here in a minute because people, I think, or some people are already starting to revive this guy, thinking that this guy was a hero and this guy was like a truther and everything. He's not. He was a former congressman. I'm going to debunk him in a minute. No. Exactly. That's right. Listen to LaFleur. All right, time for me to pull up the next thing. So I'm going to do some debunking because I have a feeling this guy's going to get revived. So I'm going to get in front of it and call him out. He does sprinkle in some truth. He does sprinkle some good stuff in, but there's a lot of lies as well. All righty. So this congressman was a Democrat or handpicked to be elected in what was Marjorie Taylor's Greens district in the 1980s. And you will be very surprised what he has to say as the so-and-so Democrat. Oh, I'll check that. I'll check that real quick. Okay. Or hey, RY. Actually, while this loads, I'll check it. I was gonna say I'll wait till the video's over, but I'll check it now. Okay, I just received it, RY. I just received it. Hey, Mike, if you have a little bit more time before you leave, I'm just about to get to the debunking. But I understand if you have to go too. So, and you can email me because I see you said you would do that. So, this is where you would do it. Email me here and I'll give it to you. All right, time to get to the debunking. If this thing will let me. Holy crap. What the hell's going on here? Okay. Something's going on here. Helps a lot more. What the hell's going on here? Now it doesn't want.
Actually, this was a move.
Here we go. Finally, I got what I wanted. All right. So, Mike, so it sounds like you want RY's information too. So that's how you would contact me, Mike. But before you all go, okay, here we go. Here. All right, let's debunk this guy.
It's a pretty
Almost
important
30
quotation.
It's all right. It was made in a pamphlet by a fellow who later headed up a society. Let's say it was
Not later, right then.
a dumb statement. The Birch Society was formed in '58.
Yeah.
Why are you all now, the John Birch Society, still?
Okay, we know that's a controlled opposition organization. The Birch Society, that's a government controlled opposition group of people. They're not a real truth society. The JBS is not a real truth society at all. And they promote a lot of mainstream narratives as well. So let's continue.
Answering for a statement like that. Why didn't somebody in the Birch Society say, look, our founder made an asinine statement, we don't pay any attention to it, and go on to the future? Why is the John Birch Society, in his phrase, now considered by an awful lot of people who will say, okay, Jerry Falwell, moral majority, new rightists, okay, don't like him. But all of a sudden, when you mention the Birch Society, everybody recoils. Why is that?
The reason is, Tom, because we haven't gotten into what the society is. Instead, we have tried to, it's a sort of a classic effort of a straw man that's thrown up where the society never took a position. The society never stated anything about Eisenhower one way or the other. It was never a position of the society.
Was it a problem for the society that its head for 25 years was the man who had made that statement, and his head is not that now?
Well, part of the problem is, Tom, Pat, the actual statement has not been quoted. And if anyone wants to take the time to read the politician with the footnotes, they may read it and judge for themselves. But that's not a position one way or the other of the society. And of course, another small problem is that Mr. Welch did not resign. Actually, this was a move of transition of leadership of which he was one of the individuals in actively making the transition. He has emerged as a chairman emeritus.
Were you hurt then? I mean, I want to get the...
So see, they're talking about mainstream stuff as if that's all real too. So already, we already know this guy. He does sprinkle in a little truth, but a lot of it's fake. And I know people are going to, especially once things really start getting ugly, they're going to start, especially right-wingers, are going to start mentioning Larry McDonald's name again. So that's why we're doing a debunk of him right now, so that I can get on top of it. And hey, I'm not just doing it because it's a new talk. I'm doing it now and getting in front of it.
The point why the John Birch Society is differentiated from other new right organizations. You can say Conservative Caucus or NICPAC or Conservative Digest, and people say yes, no, but you say the Birch Society and there's a recoil, even among conservatives who will say, no, don't call me a member of the Birch Society. Now, why is that? Is that partly due to the fact that Bill Buckley's National Review, I think around 1964, read the Birch Society out of the conservative movement? Have you recovered from that?
Well, I think Bill Buckley founded ACU in '65 partly to do that. Elements within National Review have...
I did want to mention something. See, they're doing this left-right paradigm thing. Like you have to be left or right. So they're doing this left-right paradigm thing already. So they're doing that. And that we know that's a whole scripted, hand-picked Hollywood, act.
Also, beginning in '65, I think very dishonestly took a very strong tack against the society. The society would actually be termed more of the old right. I think the definition of the new right would be vigorous and post-vigorous.
Okay, but why? I mean, I don't know where you disagree with the new right people, but why do you carry around this tarnish, this taint?
Well, let me give you another reason why.
I'd be glad to give you
And he is talking about we're the old right. Well, the old right, a lot of them were fake, phony Hollywood actors too. So there you go.
I'd be glad to give you the answer.
Mr. Welch.
The reason is because the society is the only organization that is organized at the grassroots level with paid coordinators, with chapters in the communities all across the country.
Conservative Caucus.
Not with chapters, not with a paid field staff all across the country.
That's organization.
And so the result is that this is the one group, I think, that those who would radically change America seriously fear. And a tremendous campaign was launched in December of 1960
Right.
to move to discredit the John Birch Society, and frankly launched initially on orders coming out of
Well,
Moscow.
Mr. McDonald, I'm
Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That was totally mine. 100% on me. I'm going to read the comments before continuing now, just because I want to see what's going on. Yes, everyone have a good Easter too. And hey, and I hope everyone yesterday had a happy Good Friday as well. Yeah, that's very nice of you, RY. Thank you very much for that. Oh, I do have one more rule. When I do give you my phone, when you text me, let me know it's you, so that I know, I'm not, because I usually will not pay attention to scams or anything like that. So just let me know it's you. Yeah. All righty, let's continue. So what was I'm going to say about this character? Okay, this is another thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. I'm not too sure if this was AI in the 1980s. Let's do some investigating. I'm not going to say for sure. Let's give it a chance. Let's see. Slow motion it. I mean, his face is a bigger face. What do you guys think? Do you think there was AI in the normal? I want to hear your comments down below. His face is bigger, so I can maybe see, but it is now looking at this. Is there a way? Can I upward the quality? Oh, this is as far as it'll go. It does kind of look weird, the bottom of it. I always like to look for that stuff. Okay, Cactus is saying probably not. I'm gonna lean toward not, just because it's old. But the movement was kind of weird, so I did want to point that out, and I wanted to hear everyone's opinion on it. Alrighty, let's see what else this controlled opposition clown has to say.
To move to discredit the John Birch Society, and frankly launched initial orders coming out of
Well,
Moscow.
Mr. McDonald, I'm not a conspirator. I think even Buchanan would vouch for that.
Well, you are a member of
Robert
Council on
Welch.
Foreign Relations.
Robert Welch. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Is that a conspiracy?
Well, you've certainly. Well,
Let me just tell you what Newsweek says this. The John Birch.
Yeah, Newsweek. Newsweek is government-controlled newspaper. Like Fox News, like CNN, like MSNBC, like Young Turks, and Alex Jones, and all these other people that you hear about. All the same bull crap.
Society considers communism only one arm of a master conspiracy in which socialist American insiders are plotting to establish world government.
Now it's not well, that's what socialism is. It's more central government. That is the little sprinkle of truth, though, which is we are becoming a one world government. That is the sprinkle of truth that is going to be talked about here. But I'll tell you when that is.
Now, it also says, and here's Director John McManus, that's your public relations director, saying that former Secretary of State Alexander Haig and CIA Director William Casey are two of these master conspirators who are plotting to establish world government. Now, what do you, that kind of silly, asinine statement is what makes people laugh at the John Birch Society.
The saying that there's going to be a one world government is probably the most honest thing that's been said here so far.
Well, Tom, I'm sure being a long-standing member of the Rockefeller apparatus, and as a member of the Council on Foreign Relations of longstanding, you're fully aware that there is an elitist core in this country that has seen value in subsidizing communism, of protecting communism.
It has?
Sure.
You're accusing me of subsidizing communism?
No, I'm saying.
And so that's where, listen, that is what communism is. It's centralized government. But this is where they're throwing you off for a loop. So Larry McDonald is accusing this guy of funding communism when in reality, so I'll play it again.
Core in this country that has seen value in subsidizing communism, of protecting communism.
It has?
So what is happening is it's not just a country thing. It's already an entity that controls the whole world. And they're funding, or not funding, but promoting and trying to get, the people who work for them to slowly dumb down the public and dumb down the public and dumb down the public more so that they can get us into a one world government one day. So he's talking about, you can see where the people are and they're in this country only. No, this is a distraction from who's really doing it.
Sure.
You're accusing me of subsidizing communism?
No, I'm saying
because
that
I happen
is,
to belong to a
there is an elite core.
study group.
No, wait a minute. There is an elite core in this country that has dominated American society.
Well, I'm not one of
Well,
them.
let me
Trilateral Commission.
The Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign.
So he is definitely one of them. I mean, they're all three. All three of them are. All three of
foreign
them are.
relations.
They hear Prime Minister.
All right, but what are they trying to do?
I mean, the people that are wanting to do this have dominated the State Department a lot longer than 40 years. You know, How long was I out for? Okay, I'm going to repeat that because clearly you might have missed it. So now I feel like I need to repeat it just in case you guys didn't hear it. Okay, let's get this back up.
Look, isn't there some move that occurred in the post-war era that now has been dissipated because nobody believes in the utopian idea
Again,
of world
I
government
know
anymore?
people who still believe in that. So that's not true. One. Two. There's a big, oh shit. Yeah, I know. I was out for 5 minutes. All right, two. Here's two. That's why they're dumbing down the public. They're telling people that extraterrestrials exist. They're telling people climate change. They're told all this bullshit. They can get us to in that pandemic too. So no. Oh. It is going to go out every now and then, unfortunately. But what I was going to say was this. I feel like the chances of us going into this utopian one world government, unfortunately, is stronger than ever. Okay, I would do that for you, RY. Absolutely. I would love to do that for you, RY. Absolutely. All right, let's finish this, lame stream meeting here.
Well, I think there are those that realize that moving straight from a prototype of this, but
No. Oh, shit. Okay, I thought my Wi-Fi was going out.
that moving straight from a prototype of the United Nations into world government perhaps is tactically impossible. But phasing out increasingly national sovereignty into regional government and phasing out sovereignties into international treaties in multiple areas.
The whole movement toward, quote, interdependence.
Yeah.
NATO is
I mean, I think he was trying, I think what he was doing, this is where there was some preconditioning. So he's definitely, this guy that's talking about is definitely part of it as well. This is where there was preconditioning. He was talking about these international treaties causing us to be in the one world government. Well, what did we have? We had the World Health Organization. And with the pandemic, that scripted treaty. So they're preconditioning you for this to happen. And they've been doing this for a while now. But of course, We know it's not because of these scripted treaties. That's just them showing a dumbed down version. They're doing other stuff that we don't see. And that's what really matters. The treaties is just an act, is a Hollywood act for us to see on TV.
Part of the conspiracy?
Well, there are certainly elements in NATO. There are people in NATO who are very strongly dedicated to the defense of the West. But at the same time, you find in NATO a steady dissolution. You find a growing
What is going on? Wi-Fi. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah. We know NATO is just a Hollywood act as well, an alliance just for us to watch and for sheeple to believe in. And so that's where I say, now that's Buchanan, that's not McDonald. Or this guy, while he does sprinkle in a little truth, he is just as much a part of the club as all the people that you see today. All righty.
Society succeeding Robert Welsh. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome back to Crossfire. Our guest is the new chairman, recently named chairman of the John Birch Society, Congressman Larry McDonald, a Democrat from Georgia. Mr. McDonald, your predecessor believed that the PTA was too left-wing and that and the John Birch Society at one time tried to infiltrate it, or so he said. He used the word infiltrate. Is that part of your program now?
Well, I think when the PTA comes out in this program for the test ban treaty, and when the PTA comes out for gun control, and comes...
Now, they're talking about the PTA, which is like educational stuff. I will say this from my experience in high school. Again, we all know that it's all a Hollywood act. We all know that. I will say this. They did push leftist values, especially toward the end of my high school years. They had like trans and LGBTQ stuff going on. They were talking about climate change being real. And by the way, if you didn't believe in that, you would fail the class. Forced to learn leftist media. So, and of course, the right stuff's fake too, but you get where I'm going. That is something that they did do when I was in high school. They also especially at the end, extreme lockdowns, overwhelming amount of practice, fake lockdowns. Especially at the end, it was, and we know why they do it. They do it to try to get rid of our Second Amendment. But what else did he say?
Program for the test ban treaty, and when the
or so he said. He used the word infiltrate. Is that part of your PTA was too left-wing, and and the John Birch Society at one time tried to infiltrate it. Georgia. Mr. McDonald, your predecessor believed that the PTA was too left-wing, and
what was the other thing that they did that they shoved down our throat? Yeah, just the climate change. And what we all know, what does the right have? The right wing mainly is extraterrestrials are real. So you got that fake lie too.
So the whole thing's an act. Let's make it clear. The whole thing's a Hollywood act. All your officials are handpicked. The whole thing, the whole left-right paradigm is just to get people to yell at each other so that they don't actually want to listen to the real truth. But I will say they did definitely shove the left stuff down our throat in high school. So that
and the John Birch Society at one time tried to infiltrate it, or so he said. He used the word infiltrate. Is that part of your program now?
Well, I think when the PTA comes out in this program for the test ban treaty, and when the PTA comes out for gun control, and comes out for obviously national legislation.
Yeah, we were taught that guns weren't good either. That is a sprinkle of truth for public schools. That is a sprinkle of truth. We were taught that gun rights were not good in high school. So a little sprinkle there for you.
Legislative programs that have been linked with liberaldom, having nothing to do with education of our children. I think many people are wondering, what in the world is the PTA doing? And that includes members of the John Birch Society.
Well, I wonder about you. I wonder about you. I looked you up. You're the biggest.
Of course, they sprinkle it. Or of course, they splash it with a ton of horse shit, like Jake likes to say. So to make it sound stupid. Or to make it sound like it's a mainstream issue, like for us, so that we truthers don't believe it. So they definitely do spray it with a ton of horse shit. But that's why I'm playing this and calling it out.
That I've ever seen in the world. You belong, as I counted them, to 67 organizations, among which are the National Rifle Association, the American Pistol
and of course, while I do have the Second
to try to destroy right to keep and bear arms.
All right. Sure. Okay. So
Fundamental constitutional right to keep and bear arms as the Constitution allows.
now this is where there's a sprinkle of truth here. The Second Amendment is a right. We have the right to keep and bear arms. Yes. Good job. This is where there's horse shit tainted all over it, though. That's where the NRA and all these organizations who are tied to the same government bullcrap that controls everything else, controlled opposition. Comes in. And so again, while the Second Amendment is definitely very important, yeah, okay, this Wi-Fi's been bugging the hell out of me. So yeah, of course. No, I'm very pro Second Amendment. But yeah, this is why even the organizations that sound good are probably just controlled opposition. So I fully support the Second Amendment, but that doesn't mean the NRA is doing that. That just means they say they're doing that. So,
And unfortunately,
that's who this guy McDonald's connected to. So,
there are those in our society, including elements of the PTA nationally, not always locally by any stretch, but nationally, who would
locally too. See, that's where he keeps it. Yes, locally too. Nationally, locally, doesn't matter where. They're all corrupt. This is where he's being a gatekeeper.
believe that the federal government should restrict the right of citizens to keep and bear arms.
Can I
What
get
kind
back
of
to
grades do you give?
And the local government tries to restrict the right to bear arms as well. Again. This is where he plays gatekeeper.
Give Ronald Reagan as president? And what kind of grades does the John Birch Society give him?
Well, I would say in his speeches,
And then they talk about other stuff. So I basically went over what I wanted to go over with this guy. So the sprinkle of truth was we are gradually heading toward a one world government. Bit by bit, piece by piece. Yeah, he's correct on that. But then he taints it with a ton of crap where he talks about wars being real and all these things being real when they're not. And then the same thing with the Second Amendment. Fully support it. I agree with that. But then he talks about, the NRA and all these organizations who are, again, controlled opposition. So anyone who wants to say, oh, Larry McDonald, and he got killed because he was a truther, and they had to kill him because, oh my God, he was being so honest with the public that they couldn't trust this, that they had to kill him because he is so truthful. Well, no, not really. He's part of the same dumb club, and that's why we exposed him tonight. Because I know people are going to try to bring this guy back up, especially, probably soon. Well, now I've gotten in front of it, so there's already a video debunking it out there. So that's why we went over that tonight. And believe me, there are going to be some MAGA people, Trump people, who are going to bring this guy up and use him as a good example. As a matter of fact, not only that, I'm going to be surprised if Alex Jones on InfoWars, the Alex Jones group, I'm going to be surprised if they bring this guy up again, which is why I decided to jump in front of it before they could. Yep. Exactly. And like I said, they let this guy on, this Larry McDonald guy, to tell some hints of truth. But of course, he taints it with a bunch of crap so that, people don't believe it. And he keeps a lot of it, like he'll twist it to make it sound like the mainstream's real as well. So again, shills of a feather flock together. Okay, so JP sent me an email as well, so I'll check that. Okay, so RY and JP are going to speak. Okay, yeah, of course I would like to arrange that for you too. Absolutely. All righty. I'm going to send RY. And of course, don't repeat this in chat. But I just sent it to you, RY. And I'll send it to Crisino as well. Okay, I'll pass the email along. Sure. Alrighty, there you go. I just sent my number and JP's email to you, RY. That's right. Yep. Cactus Jack is completely correct. Cactus Jack is completely correct on that issue. No question about it. Yep. But they put this guy out there in the 80s because at the time the Democrats were, like today, considered the leftist progressive party. But they put this Democrat congressman, as this ultra right wiener, someone who says that there's a new world order. But again, he only does sprinkles of truth and gates the rest of it away. And that's why I did a debunk of it tonight. Because people will think, like the sheeple will think, he's a Democrat and he's right wing, so we must listen to him. No, that's not how that works. We do, JP. We do have a ton of fun. We absolutely do. Yep. Exactly. Let's see here.
Uh, exactly. Yep. Okay. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, let me get back in the bed. Ooh. Let's see what I'm gonna even do next tonight. Exactly. All right, let's see. A lot of interesting things tonight, to say the least. I mean, we had the issue with Mr. Fittis the other week or last week. Yeah, no, yeah, it was last week. Can't stand that Fittis guy. That guy's horrible. And then what else do we got here? So we got Fittis. That was a problem. We had that Beaches guy. That was a problem, earlier on with his stupid bull crap. Talking about how Eric Dubé is this great guy. I mean, come on. And I even asked him, when you have the paper sideways, like between the front and the back, when the paper is this thin, you really think that that's a good representative of the moon? And he said that doesn't prove anything. Well, yeah, it just proves that Eric Dubé's a liar. He said to tape it to the ceiling and it would be the exact same thing. No, it's not. So either that Beaches guy was a complete dumbass, idiot, or he is a shill for and a mod for this guy, for Dubé. No matter, either way, he stinks. Either way, he stinks. So yeah, I finally had to time that guy out because it was just getting too much. And I kept trying to give him chances too. Like, I didn't just time him out. I mean, I gave him multiple chances and he just wouldn't stop.
And finally, I just, I had enough. Not going to listen to this bullshit. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm only going to do it for so long. Eventually, it's just too much. But sometimes that's what happens. No. Well, I never even knew about him. The first one I met was Jake. And of course, because I'm always fair, when I first met Jake, of course, I watched a little bit of Dubé because I wanted to get both sides of the story so I can come to my own conclusion. And Dubé was an idiot. So I did the same with Jaron. Watched a little bit of him because, again, I was just learning about this stuff at the time. So I wanted to get both sides of the story. And turns out Jaron was a liar and an ass. So Jake is innocent there too. But yeah. And that was the thing with me, is I wanted to hear both sides of the story. And it turns out Jake's the innocent one. After looking at both sides of the story. Yeah. Yeah. They do. Listen, you're not Ron, JP. They do. It can be. I'm not going to say it always is, but it can be. But like me, I'm not going to be paying for stuff. So not for me. So I get what JP's saying. I think for me, yes, I'm religious in a way where I believe in God, but I don't believe in every word that comes out of a man-written book either. So if so, yeah. But I think, but I will say atheism is a lot worse. I much rather, on a personal level, because atheism is just flat out stupid. And that's what they shoved down our throats in high school. Yeah, exactly. And that's called secularism. So there's atheism and then there's secularism. Yeah, I support secularism, which is what JP wants. Atheism is where they do all that bullshit with climate change and crap. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Oh, okay, JP. Yeah, there's a big difference between that and atheism. Big difference. They want you to think it's the same thing, but it's not. Yep. So Cactus Jack gets it. All righty. Let's see. Who is John Levy? Remind me again who John Levy is. Remind me again who that is. Okay. Let's look him up here. Let's see here. Okay, this may be it. Was this it? Was this it, Cactus Jack? I just want to see from Cactus Jack if this is the guy that he was talking about. Okay, that's not the guy. Okay. Let's try to see what this one is. Okay. Is this one it? Okay. No, I have not looked into him. So what about him? What about him did you want me to look into? Oh, okay. Alrighty. I'll have to check that out one day. All right. Yeah. I'm trying to think, has there been I don't even know what the hell I said there. Has there been any fake phony news? Yeah. Any fake phony news? For those who didn't hear, the White House apparently has the aliens.gov domain name. So yeah, that's how you know the government now owns that website and is gonna start putting crap on there. Probably about how ETs are real. Yeah, so let that begin, unfortunately. Another dumb thing. Oh, wow. I believe it. I believe it. Man. Yep. I do think you have a point there, Cactus. I do. I've seen there's this one building, I think I've showed it before, in Eureka, California, that looks like 300 years old. And I thought that was a good building, much better than the ones that are made now, for sure. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to use the restroom. I will be right back. Until then, I'm going to play something from, I think this time I'm going to play something from LaFleur. And I'll hopefully my Wi-Fi, by the way, does not go out while I'm
Hello,
gone.
everyone. I see that you made it. I'm your host, Shady Davey D. LaFleur. Welcome to this week's episode of the Flair of LaFleur. That's right. Back at it again this week.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the show. Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Is it nothing more than a national monument? Or could it be from a giant tree? You decide.
They are hiding this from us?
Exactly. Look at the old architecture in cities like Chicago or DC. Does it really look like it was built by people using horses and wooden buggies, hammers, manual saws, and basic pulleys? But look at the precision. Those 50-ton marble columns and intricate friezes. They require power tools and precision logistics.
And they claim they built these in just 2 or 3 years in the 1800s.
Exactly. It's logistically impossible. Now look at the cornerstones of some of these buildings. You'll see dates like I-850 or J-850 instead of 1850.
Wait, I or J, not a 1?
Right? Some researchers suggest the I stands for Isis, meaning year 850 of Jesus. It implies someone added 1,000 years to our timeline to hide a massive gap.
A gap? For what?
The Tartarian Empire. It's on every map before 1850, covering half the globe, a civilization with atmospheric energy tech that we've been taught to call ornamental architecture.
So we didn't build these cities?
We found them. We moved into the ruins after a global reset, slapped a 1 on the dates, and called it our own history. If we didn't build it, you have to ask, where did the original owners go?
Thank you for being this live premiere special about the giant trees in Devil's Tower. And I want to encourage you all, don't just view, join us all in this live chat. Devil's Tower, what do you think about this national monument? Do you believe the official narrative? Do you think this thing was created by a volcano? Yeah. Or do you think this is really made by silicon trees? I don't know. What do you think? This is all pretty overwhelming evidence that this used to be created by the silicon tree that used to exist in this realm.
Friend, and you find that friend is lying to you, and that upsets you. But that's a friend, so you try to forgive them, and you try to rationalize and think, well, maybe they just didn't understand. Then you catch them lying to you again. Well, now it's going, boy, I don't know. Third or fourth time they lie to you, they're no longer your friend, are they? He's just saying, I don't want to have anything to do with that person. He's a liar. Well, the government has got caught lie after lie after lie after lie, and still they come out and say something, and the news media just runs with it. It says that's the gospel. And then it takes 6 months, 6 years, 40 years for us to find out that it was all a big lie.
A landing site for UFOs, a mesa, whatever you want to believe. Did these trees, if they were trees, because I really do think they were trees, or they cut down by giants, or simple humans that wanted to rewrite the history books? Yeah, crazy. What do you think?
Hold on a second. What if dinosaurs, which we know the name was created in the 1800s, before that they called them something else. What if the reason dinosaurs were so big, dinosaurs were real, they were giant reptiles. But what if the way they got to be giant was because the air was different thousands of years ago? Why would the air be different, you may ask? The giant trees, Devil's Tower. Did you know that there's an identical Devil's Tower looking structure, basalt columns they call it, in Antarctica? They're all over the place. The Tabletop Mountains in South America, the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, which is strange because it's a whole island of basalt column, which means that if it was, and it's flat, of course, on top. It's flat on top because of erosion. But here's the thing. What if the air was different? If the air was higher in oxygen, you know that you'd live longer, right? Didn't Noah live to 900 years? Someone said that reptiles don't stop growing. They never stop growing. And if they had enough oxygen, they would get gigantic. Dragonflies were gigantic. Is it because the atmosphere was higher in oxygen because there was giant trees? Think about that. Now, a lot of people ask, well, where'd the giant trees go? If they did cut them down, like Devil's Tower, if it is, like, where'd it go? I don't know. But I just have a hard time fathoming that magma formed hexagonal patterns all over this tree stump. When the last time I checked, go look at the photos of magma that's cooled in Hawaii, and it's like there's no pattern to it. Okay. So that's the same hexagon structure you get in all trees, like all plants have that hexagon structure in their cells. So I'm postulating the idea that the reason there was giant reptiles and giant insects and people lived longer is because the air had more oxygen in it because of the giant trees. But here's the crazy part. Why did they cut the trees down? The story goes, have you ever read some of these fairy tales, dude? I'm talking Jack and the Beanstalk. Like, I found a book, 1960s children's book of Reader's Digest, the best fairy tales. Every one of them is talking about giants, and every one of them, the giants were unfortunate. They weren't like a friendly hippy-dippy giant that's a nice guy that lifts you up to get fruit off a tree. It was like brutal giants, David and Goliath style. Now, did you also know that when we know that the Native Americans would say, how? Do you know what that was about? How many fingers are on your hand? If you had 6 fingers, you were a descendant of Nephilim, and you were to be feared, and they didn't want to hang out with you. How was how many fingers? If you had 6, you were related to the Nephilim. We'll talk more about this in part 2.
Not a rock, but a tree. Arizona's petrified trees in Petrified Forest National Park are over 200 million years old. Minerals slowly replace the trees cell by cell, locking in bark, rings, and vibrant colors created by iron and copper. These trees grew when Arizona sat near the equator on the ancient supercontinent Pangaea.
Everyone knows how volcanoes erupts, congeals, and flows, right? So how can you believe this official narrative? All right, let's compare these two images that you see on your screen. On the left, we have Giants Causeway, hence the name Giants. And on the right, Devil's Tower. Now, do you believe the official narrative? Do you think this is formed by a volcano? Or are these made from silicon? Someone please explain to me how lava just stops flowing and makes this fiber hexagonal pattern in midair. Yeah. Did this realm exist?
I do find a lot of this stuff really interesting. And I think LaFleur does some good things. So LaFleur, shout out to you, Shady Davy LaFleur. Shout out to you. I think me and Shady Davy watched that before, the John Levy guy. I'll have to ask him. I think Shady Davy and I think he pulled up a video from that. I think. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Okay. I don't know what the hell went on. They had ships 100 plus years ago. Why the heck would the world's airships What are airships? Let me look these up. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see them. Very interesting, to say the least. Wow. Holy crap. Why did they stop using those? Gee, I wonder. Yeah, these blimps. This is, holy crap, this is cool. How far did they go? How far did these things go? Yeah. How long? How much is the distance? That's, I feel like that's more than current aircraft. Oh my God. That's impressive. That really is impressive. Maybe that, hey, maybe that's something LaFleur should do next. Ooh, maybe I'll tell him about that tomorrow. You just gave me a good idea to tell LaFleur. So I want to shout out to Cactus Jack for that one. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else tonight? Yeah, well, I'll make sure to tell them tomorrow about that. So that will be interesting. I'll probably even say it during the layer premiere. Yeah. All right. What's this next comment? Yeah, I mean, Cactus Jack may be right on that. He may have been 100% correct on that. Oh. Ah. Yep. All right. So, on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.